Welcome to English Easy Hub. Join us as we ignite the flames of your English learning journey together.
Please subscribe to watch and embark on your English learning journey. Don't miss out on the exciting content. In this dialogue, Andy seeks guidance from his teacher on improving his ability to recall vocabulary quickly during conversations, a common challenge for language learners. The discussion explores practical techniques such as active retrieval, paraphrasing, shadowing, role-playing, and memory strategies, emphasizing the importance of building mental connections, practicing under pressure, and balancing fluency with accuracy. It also addresses deeper concerns like maintaining motivation, prioritizing vocabulary, and overcoming the fear of making mistakes.
Good afternoon, teacher. Lately, I've been struggling with recalling vocabulary quickly during conversations. Sometimes, I know the words, but they just don't come to mind fast enough. Could you guide me on how to improve this?
Good afternoon, Andy. That's a great topic to explore. Quick recall comes from creating strong mental connections. One effective method is active retrieval. Instead of just reviewing vocabulary passively, challenge yourself to recall words in different contexts. For instance, if you learn the word serene, try describing a calm moment, a peaceful place, or a quiet mood using that word.
I see. So it's about using the word in as many scenarios as possible. What about in real-time conversations? If I forget a word, should I pause to think or try something else?
Excellent question. In real-time conversations, pausing briefly is okay, but it's often better to paraphrase or explain the word you're trying to recall. For example, if you forget exhausted, you could say, "I feel very, very tired." This keeps the conversation going and gives you time to retrieve or substitute the word. Over time, as you revisit these moments, your retrieval speed will improve.
That makes sense. When I practice on my own, how can I replicate the pressure of real conversations to train my recall speed?
Great point. You can simulate that pressure with activities like the 1-minute topic drill. Choose a topic, set a timer, and speak non-stop for 1 minute. Focus on fluency rather than accuracy. Another exercise is role-playing scenarios. Pretend you're ordering food, asking for directions, or having a casual chat. This forces your brain to think and respond quickly.
Role-playing sounds interesting. Should I stick to everyday topics, or would it help to practice more abstract subjects?
Start with practical topics like your daily routine, hobbies, or workplace interactions. These build confidence. Once you're comfortable, tackle abstract topics like discussing your opinions on global issues or personal philosophies. Expanding into these areas ensures your vocabulary is both functional and sophisticated.
I've noticed that I can often recall words when I read or listen, but when it comes to speaking, they just won't come out. How do I bridge that gap?
That's a common challenge. The gap arises because listening and reading are passive skills, while speaking and writing are active. To bridge it, practice output-focused tasks. After reading an article or watching a video, summarize the content aloud or write a brief reflection. Deliberately use new words or phrases you've encountered. Over time, this will improve your ability to recall and use vocabulary actively.
That's a good tip. What about idioms or collocations? They seem harder to remember than single words.
Idioms and collocations can be tricky because they're context-dependent. To master them, learn them in chunks. For example, instead of learning make or do in isolation, learn phrases like make a decision or do the dishes. Use them repeatedly in different sentences to reinforce their meanings. For idioms, try creating a story around them. For instance, if you learn a blessing in disguise, imagine a scenario where something bad turns out to be good.
That's helpful. I sometimes feel my sentences sound fragmented because I'm trying to recall words mid-sentence. How do I maintain fluency while searching for the right word?
To maintain fluency, practice using fillers and time-buying phrases. For example, phrases like, "Let me think for a moment," or "What's the word I'm looking for?" can buy you a few seconds without interrupting the flow. Pair this with shadowing exercises, repeating after native speakers, to practice natural rhythm and intonation, which also boosts fluency.
I've tried shadowing before, but it feels repetitive. How can I make it more engaging?
Great observation. To make shadowing more engaging, turn it into an interactive exercise. After shadowing a sentence, pause and respond to it as if you're having a conversation. For example, if the speaker says, "I had a tough day at work," you could reply, "Oh, really? What happened?" This makes the practice feel dynamic and natural.
That's a creative approach. What about vocabulary overload? Sometimes, I feel there are too many words to remember. How can I prioritize?
Excellent question. Prioritize high-frequency words and phrases relevant to your daily life and goals. Use resources like frequency lists or vocabulary apps to identify essential words. Once you've mastered these, expand into specialized vocabulary based on your interests or professional needs. By focusing on one layer at a time, you'll avoid overwhelm and build a solid foundation.
That's reassuring. Are there specific memory techniques you'd recommend for retaining vocabulary long-term?
Absolutely. One effective technique is the memory palace. Associate words with locations in a familiar place. For instance, imagine placing serene in a peaceful park you know. Another technique is emotional anchoring. Tie a word to a personal experience or feeling. For example, connect nostalgia to a happy childhood memory. These techniques create strong, lasting associations in your mind.
I'll definitely try those. Sometimes, though, I lose motivation, especially when I feel like I'm not improving quickly. How do I stay consistent?
Staying motivated requires tracking progress and celebrating small wins. Keep a vocabulary journal to note new words, phrases, and examples of usage. Review it regularly to see how far you've come. Set achievable goals, like using 5 new words in a day. Lastly, immerse yourself in things you love, whether it's sports, music, or travel, through English. When learning feels enjoyable, motivation comes naturally.
That's really helpful. Is there any benefit to practicing with others, or should I focus on solo activities?
Both are valuable, but they serve different purposes. Solo practice allows you to focus on personal challenges, like pronunciation or word choice. Group practice, on the other hand, introduces unpredictability, as you need to respond to others in real time. Ideally, alternate between the two. Record yourself during solo practice to analyze your progress, and actively engage in group settings to build confidence in spontaneous communication.
I'll try to balance both. One last thing, what's your advice for overcoming the fear of making mistakes in conversations?
Embrace mistakes as part of the learning process. Each mistake is an opportunity to grow. To build confidence, start with low-stakes environments like language exchange apps or friendly chats. Gradually, challenge yourself with more formal or fast-paced settings. Remember, fluency isn't about perfection, it's about communication. Focus on expressing your ideas, and the rest will follow.
Thank you so much, teacher. You've given me so many actionable strategies and a lot to think about. I'll start applying them right away.
You're very welcome, Andy. Remember, language learning is a journey. Take it step by step, and don't forget to enjoy the process. Let me know how you progress. I'm confident you'll do great.
This dialogue provides a comprehensive roadmap for mastering rapid vocabulary recall and building fluency. The teacher highlights actionable strategies that bridge the gap between passive understanding and active use, such as creating contextual associations, practicing spontaneous output, and using time-buying phrases during conversations. Equally valuable are the motivational insights, tracking progress, celebrating small wins, and embracing mistakes as part of the learning process. The conversation underlines that fluency is not about perfection but effective communication, encouraging learners to persist and enjoy the journey of language acquisition.
Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share to keep the English learning journey alive.